Dream Team, it's your boy Neal back with another reaction video, guys. Here we are with the reality of migrating to Australia. Before we jump into this reality, I need y'all to smack that subscribe button, ring notification bell, get a video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. You guys got a favorite video suggestion, you can subscribe to Patreon and drop it in the comment section. Oh my god!
I'm a bit nervous about making this video because I'm going to be talking about all the challenges that I faced as a migrant here in Australia. So if you're interested, keep watching.
Okay.
So if you've seen all my other videos, I regard Australia as an amazing place to migrate. I made the decision to come to Australia when I was 21 years old. I came to study. I did my bachelor degree in psychological science and human resource management. And then with my partner at the time, we got the permanent residency and Australian citizenship. That was after 4 years of having lived here. And yeah, it's been already almost over 7 years. Australia, as I said, is an amazing country, but of course, being a migrant is not easy. And not only in Australia, but I think in any other place in the world. And this is well documented on research. Actually, you have different stages as a migrant. I'm going to show you a little graph that reflects this very, very accurately. This little graph is from New Zealand migration, but I've seen it in many journal articles as well on migration and the challenges of migrating to another country. And I really like it because it's very, very accurate. This is called the settlement curve. You'll see that before arriving and once you arrive at the beginning, you're super excited about moving and having this new life. As time goes by and you start settling in, you may have a bad experience. It could be anything, and you're going to have this feeling that you're not really sure if you want to stay. This could be for many reasons. You may find that you're struggling to adapt to the culture, or perhaps you're missing your family and friends. And I have another video on that specifically, but yeah, the first year it wasn't easy at all, and I super relate.
I feel like for me it would be like kind of getting homesick, missing everybody, missing all the people that you grew up around. Because I feel like as an adult, I guess for me, I would say personally, it would be harder to make friends for me, like, than the people that I like grew up with, and you know what I'm saying? And so it would be a big change and a big adjustment. So that could be the reason that I would start kind of feeling more down.
On that specifically, but yeah, the first year it wasn't easy at all, and I super relate to this. Making friends was a challenge, and you have to put a lot of effort and be super proactive. But yeah, I was missing my family a lot. They were on the other side of the world, or everyone, my parents, my siblings, and I was 21 years old, so it was pretty hard. Yeah, you're going to have this feeling of sometimes loneliness, or feeling a bit homesick, because if something happens, where do you go to, right? So making friends and making a community is super, super, super important, and I highly recommend putting a lot of effort on that, because that's one of the greatest challenges I think that I had to experience personally as a migrant. Okay, and then we keep seeing this curve, the settlement curve. You're almost getting settled. It's been over a year now. So as you can see the angry face, you fight against the bad feelings and decide to make the most of the opportunities here. So you're angry, you're frustrated, but you want to keep going. If you migrated to another country, first I congratulate you, because it's a huge, huge challenge. It's a huge adventure, and it takes a specific personality, a specific kind of person to make this amazing move. So I'm sure that you are going to keep fighting and keep going, and basically the settlement curve reflects that, right? And then yeah, as time goes by and you start building your community and you settle, then you feel more comfortable with the language, you've found a job, you have a steady income, you're going to start feeling more relaxed, and you're going to start feeling this sense of belonging. So yeah, I really love this settlement curve because basically it represents that. I have another video on Australian culture, and I really like one of the comments from an Australian that he says Australia is a great country, but it's not paradise. And of course, there's no perfect country, right? Your first months here, you're going to be taking photos and behaving like a tourist, and you're going to like it, but then when it comes to finding a job, it might get a bit more difficult. And that was my experience. There's of course a lot of hype in terms of finding a job in Australia. There are many jobs available, and yeah, it is true. They do have skills shortages, and they do need migrants to grow the economy. That's a fact and very well documented. Finding any job, especially at lower skill levels, it's very easy, that's true. But getting a professional job is competitive. That requires a lot of time and effort. I studied my degree here. I had a bit of experience in human resources back then, in recruitment as well. But I basically had to start from zero. So I volunteered in human resources. So basically I was working for free. And I also volunteered for a non-profit, helping migrants with their English and applying for jobs. And that's why I'm making these videos.
She's absolutely awesome. Let's just take a moment to say she's absolutely awesome. The fact that she wasn't getting paid to work, but then on top of that, she also volunteered not-for-profit to help other migrants that are moving there. And then she makes these videos, and you know what I'm saying, helps talk about Australia, some of the challenges that you're going to face when moving, as you would when moving to any country. You know what I'm saying? So I think she's incredibly helpful.
Helping migrants with their English and applying for jobs. And that's why I'm making these videos, basically because it's something that I'm very, very passionate about. I did this whilst I was studying. So when I graduated, I was able to get a professional job. And another point that I want to make about working here and finding a job is that I see many migrants who are super qualified, people who have PhDs, and they're so afraid of applying for professional jobs, or they get so discouraged that they don't keep going and they end up working in jobs that they don't like. So my advice is just keep going. But as I said, you'll have to make an effort, and it's not easy, but you have to keep going. Just work on your resume, work on your cover letter. You really need to focus on that. If you have the right qualifications and work experience, or if you don't have much work experience, just volunteer. As I said, volunteer your time for free, at least for a little while, and you'll get those local references, and that will make your life so much easier. I highly recommend doing that, but just keep going, don't settle. Keep going, keep motivated. Another talent that I had, being a non-native English speaker, is that I was feeling very self-conscious about my accent at the beginning. I would basically shy away from getting to know people because I was just feeling self-conscious. The Australian accent as well is also pretty strong, and that's not something that I was used to. I was used to watching American TV shows, so I was very used to the American accent. But when I came here, I remember when I went to the supermarket for the first time, the cashier asked me, "Any cash out? Any cash out? Any cash out?" I just couldn't understand, and I felt so embarrassed. And it took...
I can imagine that, Australians, they modified their own version of English. So I feel like even a native English speaker, it would be easy for them, but it would still be adjustment. Get it to learn everything about Australian slang and all of that.
It took a while to get used to the Australian accent, and now my partner, he's Australian, so it's very easy and I've gotten used to it. So that's something that perhaps you'll face, perhaps not. I hope not, because it's so nice. But that's another challenge that I had. Another thing that I struggled with, or something that I wasn't a super fan of, is that how expensive it is to study here. I was fortunate enough to get a scholarship and get credit for prior learning, which means that I was able to shorten the duration of my studies. But studying here as an international student, it's not super accessible for everyone. So in that sense, I feel super grateful for been able to have that experience. At the same time, I do feel that there is a return on investment. So once you graduate and you start working here, salaries are pretty high. The quality of your life will be amazing. And another thing that I struggled with is that this is not like in Europe, where you can just walk anywhere or take a train and be in another country. You need a car for absolutely everything here, unless you live in the city, and that's why I always lived near the city center, because I don't want to have a car. Distances are so huge. Australia is such a huge country that you do need a car. And overall, Australia is a great country, and you're going to love it here. And if you're already here, let me know how you're going. I'm making this video just to let you know that it's going to move to Australia, or if you're already here and you're struggling to adapt, or if you're feeling down, or if you're feeling lonely, you're feeling a bit demotivated, it's completely normal. If you want more resources on the migration experience, just contact me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Absolutely beautiful there. Absolutely beautiful there. That's all we got. You guys got a favorite video suggestion? You can subscribe to Patreon or drop it in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel, ring notification bell, give the video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. It's your boy D Neal. Out.